Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. It's been a while since I last uploaded, but now we are finally back to uploading. The reason was I had actually taken part in a few competitions, I had taken part in a hackathon, and I was busy creating the project for that. So yeah, that's the reason. So that's pretty much why. Now today we are actually gonna be creating a notes application, kind of like a basic notes application where you can just add some notes and stuff of yours in Flask. It will be really simple. We won't have a lot of things. It just will be one page, and you can just add your notes. The reason being, I have been messing around with Flask a lot these days, and I just thought that maybe this is like a really good starter project, which I think can help you out to create more complex projects, and that's pretty much the entire reason why I'm doing this. So yeah. So here what I have done is I've just opened up my terminal window, and I'm just gonna go cd to my desktop slash python directory, and I will just clear it up. Oops. And I will just create and make a directory called Flask Notes Website. So here we can just select this and cd into Flask Notes Website, and all we need to do is we just create a few files. So I'll go touch main.py, and we will make a directory called templates. uh, Oops, templates, cd to templates, and we will create the files base.html and index.html, and I think I'm just gonna call an ls in here just to see that. And now we are just gonna go cd dot and let's go ls. So as you can see, this is the file structure we have gone with. Now let's just open it up in Visual Studio Code so we can start coding and actually get this project done. All right, there we go. So now the file that we are first going to be working with is the main.py file. Now, in case if you don't know how Flask works, I think you should first go and learn the basics of Flask. I will be going over some of the concepts, but I won't actually be covering the entirety of Flask. I have a Flask tutorial, I had posted it about a year ago. It's just a 14-minute video or a 10-minute video that basically goes over some of the really basic concepts of Flasks that I think you should be knowing before you can actually start out with this tutorial. So go check that out first. So first of all, now first Flask isn't pre-installed, so you will have to go and do the pip3 install Flask. So just open up your terminal window and just go pip3 install Flask on Mac or Linux and pip install Flask on Windows. That's just pretty standard stuff, nothing new. So let's just go from Flask, uh, Flask, oops, Flask. We can import Flask. We can import the render underscore template. We can import the request, and I think we will just need that. Actually, no, I think we'll need the URL underscore for. So these are just some few kind of things in it which we will need. Render template allows us to render HTML templates. Request allows us to actually access the stuff that's written in the web page, and URL for will allow us to link the HTML files to a CSS file, which will go into another directory called static, which we will create in some time when we actually need it, I guess. So now we will actually create the app. So creating the app. So what we do is we just say app is equals to flask underscore name, and we can just go and run running the app. So we can just say if underscore name is equals to underscore main, we can just go app dot run and debug is equal to 2. So you don't have to run the app again and again. You make a change, You just need to hit Command S or Control S. So now let's create the main page. Oops, creating the main page. Oh, come on. Alright, there we go. And in here we are just gonna have a define main return render template, and in the templates folder we need to return the render template of index.html. The base.html file is actually a bit of a special HTML file. You will see why we have created the base.html file. It's actually really important. It will allow us to do some of the things in the index.html file which are crucial to the app. So now we have set up this really basic Flask application. Now what we need to do is actually get this HTML part all working. So I've just saved my Python script and open up base.html. Now what you want to do in here is actually I'm just gonna put this, I'm just gonna copy paste this code. I think gonna try to Google it up. I have it in one of my other projects, but I think I'm gonna try to Google it up. The reason being, basically what this base.html file does is it will take all of your it will just be you setting up some boilerplate HTML code. So when you, as soon as you go to your index.html, you basically don't have to write a lot of the code. So in here I'm just gonna search for Flask base.html boilerplate code. Alright, I think it's gonna be somewhere over here. There we go. So in the HTML structure that we are gonna be using will be something like this. So what we do is we actually set up a really basic what do you say structure, and then we basically just use that structure in our actual thing, actual index.html file. Now let's actually go over here. So as you can see, this is the templates base.html file. This is exactly the file that we want, this one. Now they haven't put in all of the titles and the HTML tags and stuff. We can work with that. We will add all of that into our file. So let's actually just add it up really quick. Alright, there we go. Actually I think what I'm gonna do actually is Flask boilerplate. There we go. I think I'm gonna get it from the other websites, because I think the website that, even though these are the official documentation, I think there are better options. So let's actually how to use templates in a Flask application. Flask boilerplate, Flask boilerplate. Let's look at this one. So let's open up templates. Pages. Oh come on, there has to be one of the headers, forms, layouts, main.html maybe. Okay, so maybe they haven't done that. Alright, I think we are just gonna have to copy paste it. So now I will have all of this code in the description as like base.html file boilerplate code. I will just have it in the description box, so you can just copy paste that also. I will explain to you what that means once I actually get it in here. So 1 second, I'm just gonna quickly add that over here. So it's gonna be in templates and base.html. I'm just gonna quickly open that up over here. Now this code basically adds Bootstrap to our website, because we are going to be using Bootstrap and won't be going for a tons of styling. Yeah, so let's just add that. Oh yeah, as you can see, we just add this. I will have this in the description box down below. Yeah, in the index.html file also we are going to be adding some things, like when I say some things I mean like probably the first few lines of code, like this extends base.html, and I'm pretty sure, I think I'm just gonna copy this much. Alright, there we go. Alright, So now we can just end the block body. This is basically how you write Python code inside of HTML. You will actually be able to write it. And in here we can just call it notes. You can name it anything you want. I'm just gonna call it notes. Alright. So now we can actually run this website, but before this we can actually go over here and put in like div dot no actually over here we can just put in center tag, and we can add an h1 notes. And now we can actually run the website and we will actually see some actual content on the website. Alright, there we go. So now we have to open up Google Chrome, go up to your user, and let's actually open up this application. There we go. As you can see, it does say notes, and that's basically what you want. So now let's actually get some work done actually. So over here, let's actually add like a text input field. Alright, so I'm just gonna add like a br tag over here. We are another one actually. Let's just go with our dev dot what do we name it? Let's actually, alright, actually instead of a text input, let's add a text area. So let's open up bootstraps documentation so we can actually get the text area view in here. So we can just open up that, click on download, and in here we can basically just, as you can see, they basically go over how to do that. We have just copy pasted these files in there. So in here basically what we can do is, as you can see, they have these things over here, like the customize, the layout, as you can see. Oh yeah, so I think we are gonna search for something like text area, text areas, as you can see over here. Let's search for that. Alright, as you can see, there aren't a lot of text area. There you go, as you can see, there you go. We have this one text area with the label. So let's actually just copy this entire thing, and let's actually just paste it in here. Now let's head on over here, reload the page, and as you can see, now you probably won't get this button, that's the Grammarly support, and that's why so instance, like, it's only because I have that Chrome extension in my browser, and that's the reason why we are getting it. Alright, now we are basically gonna be giving it a little bit of styling, since I don't want it to be like this wide. I want it to be wide, but I don't want it to be this wide. The best thing is it actually will not look bad when you actually scale this like this. It's kind of responsive. Now I know text area views, like text areas, well, how can you make them unresponsive or stuff like that? But yeah, it's pretty good. So let's actually do some things now. So let's actually first create a folder over here called static. Now please don't name these two folders anything else, because otherwise this thing won't work. Just telling you. So style.css, we are just gonna create that file, and let's head on to base.html, and over here we have already linked it up, and this was the reason why we are using URL for. You need it in your main.py file if you actually want to access the styles. So that was the reason why we added that. Alright, so we are just gonna close our base.html file, and let's actually go over here, and let's just get this text area field. Actually, you know what, I'm not gonna call it. Actually, I think we will have to call it that. We will have to just enclose this entire thing inside of a form that sends a post request, since only then we'll be able to use request in Flask to actually get what was sent in the text area. So we also need to give it a name. Oops, name. So I'm just gonna call it notes int. You can call it anything else, I just want to call it that. I'm just gonna call it notes int. We can then just copy this form control class, and just say dot form control. Now I won't be going over CSS, all right. So I'm just gonna say width of maybe let's just go 60%. All right, that's I think all the CSS we will write. Now the thing with CSS in Flask is we put this thing inside of this folder called static. We put all of our HTML in these folder called templates, and our main.py file is in the root directory. So whenever you write some CSS and you actually want to see it being changed inside of your website, what you need to do is open up your inspector in your browser. You can open it up in any way. We'll just make it real small, and you actually need to right click on the reload thing and click on this option, or you can just also just go command shift R. The reason being, only then it will actually empty the cache, all of the CSS that was stored in the cache, and then it will reload the website. Now, well, this kind of got screwed up since we are having this comments thing over here. 1 second, let's see over here. All right. Well, we will have to figure out something with the comments. Let's look at that. All right. Floating text area 2. Why don't we just add it in the thing? I don't know. I'm very bad at HTML, if you can't tell by now. So that's the reason. Oh, alright. Well, we can't do that. We can't do that. It does not interpret it as a label. How do we actually do that? So the problem that we are facing is I think we can, if we can, well, it's already inside of a syntax. It's in a div, form floating. Let's actually just add a placeholder. Why isn't a placeholder also popping up? You know what I think? Instead of a text in area, we can just add a text input. Text in input field. I don't really get that, like the reason why they have that input field and input groups and stuff. Alright, I think this one looks good, and let's just get that, and we basically all we need to do is just this. Yeah, pretty much pretty basic. Alright, so over here we can just say something like enter note and form control. Let's see over here. Actually, we can just comment that out. Comment out the CSS. And over here, all we need to do is just give it a name. So we can just give it a name. Notes INP. Alright. Head on over here to Google Chrome. Hit Command Shift R, and we have this. And since it's just an input field, having it of full length does not matter, and we obviously need to get rid of this. Enter. Let's just make that like that. Alright, now reload the page, and there we go. As you can see, everything is working perfectly. Awesome. So now let's actually get some functionality in. So over here, we need to actually tell it that currently you will see something. So if I enter something and I click on return, it says method not allowed, and this method is not allowed for the request URL. The reason why that's happening is because in our HTML code, we are sending in a post request to this form, whereas in the main.py file, we have only told it to accept get requests and not other types of requests. Because if you don't pass anything in the app.route, it just says accept the get request and block the all of the other requests. So what you need to do over here is you need to pass in another parameter called methods, which is a list of get, and in this we will just pass in get and post, because these are the two methods that we want. So we will just pass get and post, and we are just going to return the render template. So yeah, and we will also do a few things. So now we will see Actually, you know what, I think let's just keep it like this right now. Reload the page, and you can just enter anything, click on enter, and as you can see over here, if I just open up my VS Code terminal, you will see it says get with a 200 status code and post with a 200 status code. Otherwise it would have shown us something like, there we go, as you can see it says 4 or 5 over here, where we had actually kept the only request to be get, and that's exactly why we needed to add it in the methods list. So we can now say if request dot method is equal to post. So if we are sending a post request, we want to do a specific thing. So what we want to do is we want to get web page is equal to request. We want to get the value of the input field, since basically when you actually send a post request, we are basically submitting the form. So we basically go web page is equal to request dot form, and then we can just say actually let's just go notes underscore inp is equals to string web page, and inside of this we can basically just pass in the name of notes inp. So now let's just go print notes inp, reload the page, and let's just add a note. I have to go to the let's just go doctor's clinic on Monday. We can click on enter, and we are running it through our integrated terminal. Actually, I think it's getting a little bad that I have to, as you can see, it does print that out over here. Now I think I'm just gonna stop running the app from here. I'm just gonna run it from my integrated the actual terminal window, because I think it's a bit more convenient, since it allows me to show you everything really nicely. So I'm just gonna reload the page, and let's just go coding made easy, click on enter. As you can see, it says coding made easy. Just a second guys, I will be back. Alright, so I was just getting a phone call. So now we are printing out the notes INP. Now let's actually get some the notes adding functionality in place, which is actually pretty easy, surprisingly easy. So here we are just gonna define the global variables. I know global variables is not a good practice, but I think in this case we need them. So now we just have this list called notes underscore list, which will be a blank list, and over here in the main method we can just call it as a global notes underscore list. And what we want to do is we want to append the notes to the notes list. So notes underscore list dot append what was it, note sign. There we go. That's basically what we wanted to do. Now we can actually get rid of this print statement. I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. Now what we want to do is we want to render the notes list. Now obviously the number of notes a user adds, well, we don't know how many we'll add. So what we will do is we will just go to our index.html, and we'll create a for loop in HTML. Yeah, you heard it correct, a for loop in HTML. Now I know what some of you might say, how can you actually do that? Well, you can actually do that only and only if you have set up the directory structure as how I have done it, and the base.html file should also contain the code that I had written. So we can say now it should be inside of these mod signs. I don't know why. So we can just say for, or we can say like note in, we can just say allow, what had I named it, notes list. I'm just gonna name it that. Now you don't need to just write like that notes list, but I just like to be a little consistent, that's why. And here we can just say end for, and here we can just say return an h file with the value note. Pretty standard stuff, as you can see, not that complex, but it's actually really simple the way it works. As you know, Flask is a really simple framework. It's not, it isn't like as bulky as Django. It's pretty simple to work with. So we can just say note, actually not note, note notes list is equal to notes list. That's all we need to do. Now you will see there are going to be a few bugs with the app right now, but we will get rid of those bugs later on. We need to reload it, and as you can see, it does return coding made easy. We can write I have to go to the doctor's clinic on Monday. We can click on enter. As you can see, it does add that. We can reload the page, but now you can see, wait, why is it replicating itself? The reason being, when you actually reload the page, we are probably sending a push request. And since we are storing all of this in a list, what's gonna happen is it's gonna duplicate the element in the list. So what we can do is we just implement a certain kind of like searching thing that will remove duplicate from a list. And I seen like one a really good article on that, so I'm just gonna quickly Google it up. Remove duplicate elements from a list in Python. And yeah, it's by Geeks for Geeks. It's a pretty famous site in case if you don't know. And we can actually do it in a one-liner piece of code, as you can see, pretty simple. And for that, what we need to do is we need to create another small thing or another list. I don't know if there's any better way to do it. Probably there is, but I usually like to figure things out by myself. So that's the reason why probably even if there is a better method, I don't know how to do that. But in case if you guys know that, then certainly leave a comment down below. So we'll create another thing, but instead of notes list, it will be called temp notes list. We can just call it in here as a global. And instead of us appending notes list, we will append temp notes list. And over here in res.append, it will be notes list dot append and not temp notes list. Notes list dot append x for it being in temp notes list if x not in notes list. It basically checks if the array if the list has any duplicate elements, and if it has, we don't append it. And that's pretty much all you need to do. Not that complex. Reload the page. This also avoids the user if the user adds any duplicate elements. So now what I'm actually going to do is actually going to stop this, and we will actually run it again. Python 3main.py. So we actually get rid of that. I have to go to the doctor's clinic on Monday. Let's just copy that. Open it up in another browser window. Oops. Stop the server. Reload this thing and visit the web page. Okay, so it does show up. The reason being it's in the thing. So we can say something like actually, you know what, currently what's happening is this entire thing is just coming up like this, which doesn't look that good. It kind of looks like a to-do app. I don't want it to look like a to-do app. I want it to look like a dedicated notes app. So we'll add another form over here. Actually, you know what, I think we are just gonna do it in the same form. We're just gonna do it in the same form. I think because we can. So we will add another thing called notes title inp, and I think I'm just gonna take this entire div and I'm gonna paste it on top over here and enter note title. Let's just make that over here. Oops. Title. Pretty standard stuff. We can just copy that, and I think we need to do it over here in the placeholder. So now if we just reload the page, we have these two things, enter note title and enter note. And as you can see, that go to the doctor's clinic also goes away, which we want. There we go. We are just gonna add a few line break tags over here, so it doesn't look this ugly. Um, yeah, which should be good. There you go. As you can see, now it does not look very ugly. So now we can like enter note and the enter note, enter the note title and the note. Now here's the thing. Let's actually do the same thing but for the note title. But before we do that, we actually want to kind of return it in a kind of a well formatted way, in like a div. But before we do that, let's actually just get some of the functionality in place. Like again, some of these formatting things and stuff, it's pretty simple, so we can get to it later on, which is pretty good. So we can just copy this bad boy, add that, and we can just add this word temp over there. Again, pretty simple, nothing very complex. Now we can just go notes underscore title underscore inp. Oops, well, it's obviously not a constant, so we need to do it in this way. And we can pretty much take this exact piece of code, and we can just get, instead of that, the notes inp, we simply need to put in this, the notes title inp. Really standard stuff, nothing very complex. So we can just say temp underscore notes title, temp notes list title. Was it that name only? Temp notes list title, temp notes list title, temp notes list. Alright, yeah. Dot append notes underscore title inp. Alright, and we can just copy, oops, copy this, paste it here, temp notes title, notes list title underscore title for x in temp notes title. Copy that, and we can just paste it in here. Alright, so a little bit of code manipulation, changing around, stuff like that. But I think everything is working and nothing is broken. But here's the thing. Currently what's happening is we are going to be creating two simultaneous lists. And how do you actually create, like, and what we want to do is we want to take these two simultaneous lists and we want to map it together in an array, a two-dimensional array. And Python actually has a built-in thing that can do it. It's called the zip function in Python, and I actually came across that in Stack Overflow. So combine two Python lists into an array. And I think we just add a 2D thing over here. So 2D array. And this is exactly what we want, the first link. And over here, as you can see, the guy has these two lists, latitude and longitude, and as you can see, it's list zip that, pretty much this much only, or just a line of code. Now what we want to do in here, we will define another list called final underscore list. So it will be the final list, and it will pretty much just take that, and instead of lat and longitude, it will be notes list. Actually no, we will have a notes title list and notes list. We want to show the title before the actual note, obviously. So we can just say, alright, so again we'll have to do our same global thing in here, before we actually do anything. Do that, over here, final underscore list, do that. And instead of passing in notes list, we will pass in the final list as our notes list. And well, we are still left with some of the code. So over here what we will do is currently we'll just go node dot 0 and h5 node dot 1. Alright, Let's head on to notes, reload the page. Let's go test title 1 and test note 1. Oops, click on enter. Alright, why can't I click on enter? I think maybe we'll have to move this into another form. Form method equals post, put that in there. Uh, test title 1, test note 1, click on enter. Okay, I could not understand. Notes title INP. Maybe we have spelled something incorrectly. Input notes INP, notes title INP. Okay, why doesn't that work? Okay, sending a get request. Okay, no, we have to look at this one. Okay, okay. Form method post, notes title INP. Wait, let's actually get rid of the notes title INP code over here, and over here, and we just want to print out the web page. So print web page dot form. Oops, just web page. Do that. Reload the page and do the form resubmission. We are gonna run into an error probably, but I think we will get what we want. And let's just return something. Alright, let's look at that over here. Okay, notes input and notes input. Why don't we get the notes title INP? That's kind of alright. So we aren't getting the first form's response. We are getting the second one. But why isn't it working when we just take this div, add it into the first form with the second div, and get rid of this form, head on to Google Chrome, resubmit the thing, just add that and add this. Okay, why can't we even click on return? Why isn't it sending a post request? Okay, 1 second. Alright, 13th October 2052. Okay, 1 second. I think let's look at this. No, it's not even sending anything. It's not sending anything. Wait. Alright, that's a bit of a thing. Alright, let's look at this. How to use Flask requests to get the values of of input fields in multiple forms. Maybe then we'll have just to have to scrap the idea of the title thing. Transformer, string field name, submit field, string field, submit field name. Font 2 and font 2. Another problem was solved. If you want to dive into it, then continue to read. Return it, validate on submit, return self dot is submitted and self dot validate, so with that, add property, define data, all of that, and alright, that's a form, then that's a form, and request dot form. Handle 2 forms in 1 page Flask code example. Come on. this one, and two forms in one page. This website has having a security device to protect itself from online attacks, but I don't want to online attack it. Maybe if we have to open it up in a new page. Come on. Hey, if my form Flask identified different forms on the same page. Come on, multiple input variables. Flask multiple forms maybe over here. Reddit can help us out. Form action and form action. There we go. This is exactly what we want. As you can see, this is the exact kind of thing that this guy is running into. Now, wait a second. So over here, as you can see, there are two input fields in the same thing. How's that working then in this case? Flask file. Route methods equals post, define login, name, request the form dot get. Okay, wait a second. If yeah, they are warnings. Let's look at this comments. Maybe someone has uh, not sure if it's a typo, but your forms are not closed with a slash form, just another form. And that was the reason for it. Can't believe I stuck on us for that. Let's look at our code. Well, we are ending it with that. Maybe it's because all of these are in divs, we can get rid of that, and maybe it should work. Let's actually get rid of that. Alright, let's just do that. I really hope this works. I'll continue that. Title, yeah, and oh come on, this doesn't work still. Maybe we can. Oh, okay, oops. I'll get rid of that. Continue. No. Yeah, well, it does not work. Why? Why doesn't it work? I just don't get it. Alright, let's open create this other form slash form. Do that. Oops. Continue. Add that and add something more over there. So as you can see, it goes node sign P. It grabs the first thing, but not the second one. So what if we just go over here like this? So will it just grab like the node's title or what? Come on, okay. This server could not understand node sign P. Huh. Well, that just gives us an error. Maybe I think we should just get rid of that. I don't know why that's happening. Let's just get rid of that. It's okay. It's okay. Now we can just add these two divs that we initially had gotten rid of over here. And now we'll have to just get rid of this form. Add the div. And just close it. There we go. Let's check it out over here. Reload the page. Why? Node sign P. Come on, why is this happening? Maybe I just have to command Z a lot of the thing. First of all, we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that. Oops. This. It should just be node, not node.1. Yeah. Then we can also, we'll have to just make it our nodes underscore list. And let's get rid of final list and all of the nodes title stuff. Well, that's we did get rid of So much of things, so many things. And we can just go temp, temp underscore notes list dot append notes, notes ip. There we go. Pretty good. Command S and command S that, save it, and I think I'm just gonna start the entire thing again. And let's just reload this. Obviously it will throw me like it can't be reached, but now let's just call it again. Python.py, reload the page. Wait, what? So the proxy could not understand the request. What do you mean it could not understand the request? Maybe we'll just have to wait. I don't get it. Wait. Alright, let's actually comment on this piece of code, because I just don't get what is it trying to say. That's the problem. Reload the page. Wait, what? What do you mean by this? Let's even comment on this piece of code. Let's see what's actually happening over here. Alright, let's enter something. Click on enter. We do have an immutable dictionary. So why isn't that working? Let's go and uncomment this line. Do a little bit of debugging. So go to the doctor's clinic on Monday. There we go. So that also does not throw us an error. Alright, so let's comment out this piece of code and print out the notes underscore inp. Reload the page and continue, and there we go. This also works. Okay, so that wasn't an error. So let's look at the appending, because if even that's not an error, then I really don't know what exactly it is. Let's put that in there. It does print that out. Okay, so we don't even have an error with it. So whatever I think the error was, it was in the HTML side probably. I don't know. Let's look at that. So look at that. Form method equals post. Let's actually get rid of this entire form. This here. Now wait a second. That's also can be an error. That also can't actually be an error. Let's do that. Just go note. Get the notes list, and we can just add it in here. Notes list is equal to notes list. Please work. I hope it works. It shouldn't bring that. Alright, I don't know what was happening the last. Let's just add something. So there we go. It works. Yay. Alright. Now we can just put it inside like a well formatted, well looking div. So note, dev.note. Let's just do that. And let's just take it in here, put it inside of this div, add an HR on top and add an HR on the bottom. I think we don't need two of them. We can just have one. Add an HR and APR. Reload the page. Let's see how it looks. And there we go. And let's actually go. Let's create an ordered list and make these the listing elements instead of HR tags. H5 tags, I guess. Alright, there we go. And I think we can just create like an li over here. Li. And let's just do that. And I think we need to do it in this way. I'm not sure. My HTML skills are kind of rusty. Don't judge me. Alright, there we go. Oops. Well, why in the world is that the case? Maybe we can get rid of this. Oh yeah. The reason why that's happening is since when we are in a for loop. So the li should also start with new, I guess. Don't know. Alright, let's actually just get rid of that. I think that was just a bad idea. Let's just get rid of an ordered list. And just do that. Alright, there we go. Let's see if I hope it doesn't break the website. There we go. Alright, we can now kind of style this a little bit in case if you oops, in case if you want. So we'll just quickly get some styling in place. Now my styling again, as I told you, it is really bad. So that's the thing. So width of 100%. We can give it a we won't give it a height, since we want the user to enter a note of any length and it should be able to display it. So that's why. So we can just go like border 2 pixels solid black, uh, give it a border hyphen radius of 5 pixels, actually not 5, 6 pixels, border radius 6 pixels. I think that should be enough. Wait, I think we'll have to go to height in this case. Height of 20%. Reload the page. Oh yeah, we'll have to go to command shift R. Wait, I forgot that. Well, that's actually a really easy to forget thing actually. Well, alright, there we go, it was work. Now you will see over here. So if we actually add like a ton of things in the node, let's actually do that. So if I just go like something like this, now, sorry for the spamming, yeah. So somebody just spams our enter node field. I know not a whole lot of people do such things, but there are a few like uh, bad people who like to do this kind of a thing. But as you can see, this kind of thing happens in here. So that's one of the bad things of this. Uh, Maybe like I think there is some way to actually line break it to the bottom, but I don't know how that works. So I'm just gonna refrain from even trying it out. So that's why. So that's the reason why I'm just getting rid of all of the CSS. Since in my case, when I add CSS, the website just ends up looking bad, not better. So that's why. But there we go. That's pretty much what we wanted to create. Uh, Now if we just copy this link, you can just open it up in another page, close that. As you can see, it does remain. The reason being, as long as the server is running, the thing will be coming up, and this is just a basic thing, so we aren't really gonna set up databases and stuff. I probably the reason being, I simply didn't. I wanted to create like a really basic application. You can also treat it like a to-do app. Like it's pretty simple. You can treat it like a to-do app, or you can just add like the notes, adding, deleting functionality and stuff like that. It's pretty simple. So yeah, it's pretty. It's actually not that complex to create. It's pretty basic and simple. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was really basic again, but it was certainly something that was really fun to make. You can add all sorts of things like notes, deleting and updating functionality, but I'm gonna leave it as an exercise to you guys. So you guys can test it out. You will have to Google up a few things here and there, but it's actually pretty easy. Believe me, I know. So yeah, it's actually really easy. So try it out by yourself. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe to the channel. I know I hadn't uploaded in a little bit, but there we go. So that's a new video. So yeah, there we go. So until the next time we meet, bye bye. All right.